about jinn, like different ways how the black magic has been done. Let's do chapter number 4. In this we're going to learn like how the different ways of sahir brings about jinn. But what we are learning, we have to prevent ourselves. We are not learning magic. We want to overcome with this. We want to live a life with the like the things which can please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the fear of Allah. So there are different ways what they do which is recognized wrong. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. Al-Iqsam, the Sahirs, swearing by chief of demons and slaughtering, and Al-Sufliya and An-Najasa, writing the verses of Quran with the filth, Al-Tankis, and grammatizing the words of Quran, means writing in the backward way, and then An-Tanjib, the Sahirs communication with certain star, Al-Kafu, drawing a square around the left hand of a young child, Al-Azhar, traces of the smell of the sweating in the garments. So this again I mentioned, just we want to overcome with this because we want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These all are shayatini things. So agreement between a sahir and a demon. In most cases, an agreement is set up between a sahir and a demon, requiring that the former commit certain, pagan rituals, whether secretly or openly, and later provide the services he needs or send someone to do that job. This is the thing which is against Quran and Sunnah. So the agreement is a set up between a sahir and one of the chiefs of the tribe of the jinn and the demons. The chief instructs one of the tribe disrespectful demons to work for the sahir, obeying his orders and informing him of past events. What all the past events, causing separation of a man from his wife, or a love spell between two people, making someone impotent, and other condition which will be discussed detail in the chapter 6. So in this chapter, the sahir he sent the demon on an evil mission, but if the demon disobeys his order, he would come close to the chief of the tribe through some enchantments which would carry word of praise, seeking refuge in him instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Means these are the things which is recognized wrong. The chief would punish the demons and command him to obey the sahir's order or instruct someone else to obey the polytheist. So the a strong connection, how they do recognize wrong thing between, like sahir does the things with the help of the jinn, is based on hatred. Usually jinn would harm the sahir's wife, children, or wealth, or even the sahir himself, although the sahir would not be aware of the cause of the suffering, such as constant pain, insomnia, and sudden frightful waking up during the night. So the sorcerers usually become infertile because the jinn would kill the fetus inside the womb before it is formed. So this is common among the sorcery, and some of them have given up their profession in order to have children. So how every bad thing has the pros and cons. So this also has the negative impact. But you must be thinking why a person is doing such a thing which has so many negative impact. This is like an addiction. If somebody is alcoholic, they do on doing the things even though it's bad for their health. Someone is going into the wrong direction, they don't even realize it. It's like a achieving thing, if somebody knows like certain acts, they are doing it and it give them some kind of success. So just they are looking for the success, but they are not looking actually they are doing wrong and they are striving it. So they want to harm themselves also. That's how the thing. So here the writer writes, one day he was treating a woman affected by sihr. So when started reciting the Quran, the jinn who had possessed her spoke through that woman. So he is narrating this story. This is the incident he is narrating. He said he started reciting the Quran and how the things happen. And it was said that I cannot come out of her. I said, why? Who is saying this? The writer is saying. He replied, I am afraid the Sahir might kill me. So he said, a Sahir might kill me. So I said, get out of the place and go somewhere else, where the Sahir does not know about. He replied, he will send someone else after me to bring me back to him. I said, why don't you embrace Islam? Say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, sincerely declaring your repentance. Yani you ask forgiveness. We will by Allah's leave teach you some ayahs of the Quran to protect you from the evil of the disbeliefs among the jinn. So the jinn said, no, I will not embrace Islam. I will remain Christian. So that jinn was a Christian. So I said, there is no compulsion in Islam. La ikraha fid din. So, but it is important that you leave the woman, because that woman was bewitched and this jinn was, possessed that woman. So he replied, who is replied? The jinn. I will not leave her. I said, then I'll be by Allah's leave expel you. Let me recite some verses of the Quran. So this, he started reciting the Quran. He's a Raqi. So then I hit him hardly and he cried saying, I will get out. I will get out. Finally, he abandoned that woman. So he started beating and that beat was given to that jinn. And he recited the Quran and finally that jinn left that woman. So the greater the Sahir degree of the kufr is, the more, obedient the demon is. And the faster in executing his order. And that's how, this is the one incident I mentioned over here. There's so many different incidents are there. So how does a Sahir bring about a jinn? So there are various ways. And about a jinn, all of which require the use of a language, a polytheist or atheistic way. And discuss the 8 methods indicating briefly the types of polytheism or disbelief used in each method. So, citing these methods, because some Muslims do not distinguish between the, treatment of sihr with the Quran and the treatment of sahir with the, doing the black magic. So here, this information is to overcome with the wrong things. This information is for our protection. This information is not to practice it, because this is forbidden. At the time of Umar Khattab, the death sentence will be given to the people who practice black magic. And this is the time, like people, they learn it, they practice it, because they are not Muslim anymore. They lose their iman. So we don't want to lose our iman. So while here ordinary people, they tend to believe that, when a Sahir, for example, utters atheistic words of sihr and strongly maintains that he says, by mixing it with some, ayahs of the Quran, that the sufferer is actually being treated with Quran. Like, the misunderstanding, he thinks, oh, I'm being treated with the Quran. Actually, he is not. You understand? They are treating with the wrong thing. But in the case, like, if sufferer between that he's being treated with the Quran, he would usually submit himself to the Sahir, who would then be free to do whatever he wishes. Therefore, the purpose of this method is to warn all the Muslim brothers and sisters to end the evil things. The first method, al-aqsam, swearing by seeking refuge in the master of devils, shaitan and jinns, bad jinns. So sahir may enter a dark room and light a fire and smoke incense of a good or bad order. So according to the subject of the request. So for instance, the sahir intends to separate or strip up hatred, enmity between two people. For example, he would put a bad smelling incense onto the fire. But if he wants to bring love between the people, to neutralize the sihr of an important person, or a sihr is general, he would put a nice smell incense into the fire. This is how the things he is being doing. And after that, he may start reading the pagan spells using specific incantations, and this would contain the sahir's ode to the jinn from their master and appealing to them, using their master as an object of swearing by, like, doing the wrong things. Includes the type of polytheism, praising the jinn and seeking refuge in praising jinn and seeking and appreciating the jinn and shayateen. In addition, sahir curse is upon Allah subhanahu Allah's curse on sahir, and he would be in a impure state. What do you mean by impure state? Like, when you need to take the shower. For example, you are in a state of janaba, impurity of the sexual, whether sexual discharge or husband-wife relationship. After that, you have to take the shower. So he will be in that state, like, impurity. And he would start reading the incantation, and somebody would appear, like, for example, like a phantom or something like that, or a form of dog or a cat, etc. Then the sahir would command it to do whatever he wishes. Sometimes nothing appear before the sahir. At the others, the sahir may hear a voice or nothing at all. In this case, he may put a knot around the trace of the targeted person, such as a lock of his hair or a sweaty piece of his garment, etc. Then he would instruct the jinn to obey whatever he should command. So the comments on this method shows that the jinn prefer first dark places. And the second, what we learn from this, the jinn are fed on incense, upon which the name of Allah is not pronounced. Third thing, what we learn, the apparent and explicit act of polytheism in the method lies in swearing by and seeking refuge in the shayateen and jinn. And the fourth thing we learn, the jinn prefer filth. Devil approaches impure things. So we should be in the state of, purity, like taking shower, doing the wudu. So what is the thing? This is the method, first method. We have to overcome this. We are not learning to practice. Nauzubillah, astaghfirullah. May Allah save us all from such kind of thing. Jinn and shayateen are there. It is mentioned in the Quran. There is a surah on the jinn. But what we learn here, like, we should avoid such kind of the people who are polytheist in the name of Allah. They enchant the wrong things and they make up the people foolishly, and that is the thing they are doing. Actually, they are practicing black magic, and we should overcome that. This is the first method they do. They go in the dark places, they incense the bad or good scent, and they take your sweaty garments, they access your hair. So you have to be careful. Wherever you want, you shouldn't throw your hair, you shouldn't give your wear garments to anyone. So because this is the closest people will practice such kind of things, who can access your personal things. You have to be careful regarding that. And not only that, morning evening duas, recite Ayatul Kursi and Mawazatain, last two Qul surahs, Falaq and Nas, and of course Suratul Ikhlas also. May Allah protect us all. We will do the protection and morning evening duas, and your aqidah should be correct in order to overcome. This is first method here is described, and again I say it's a warning, we shouldn't do it. We are just getting aware of this so that nobody can make us foolish in the name of Allah or in the name of ruqya. They do wrong things. No, ruqya you can yourself do it. There are certain rahi who does it with the Quran and Sunnah, that is allowed. But this kind of people who are doing the wrong things, we should overcome that. So jazakallah khairan kaseera. Subhanakallah.